Hi Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. This is a channel about cross stitch. My name's Cameron, you can call me Cam or Cameron. Yeah, this is my channel about crafting and things. I'm coming back to you 3 weeks later, which is not too bad. I do have an AC unit going on in the other room. I cannot turn it off or I will melt. I have lots of things to show you, and I'm also prepping to go to StitchCon next week, weekend A. So if you're going to weekend A, I'm so excited to see you. Please come say hi. I'm going with a couple of my buddies from Flosstube, and yeah, I went last year, was my first year. This is my second year, and I just can't wait to be around stitchy people and just stitch. It's gonna be great. So first, I have a couple of finishes to show you. I have a few whips, prep stuff to talk about. What am I packing? What am I bringing? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Yeah, I think that's kind of the vibe for the video. So first, I'll show you a few finishes. The first one is gonna be my name tag. So I stitched this week, I think. Yes. I stitched it on 32 count linen by Mystic Fabrics in the color Everything Else. It's just a nice neutral. And I chose DMC 915 and 166 for my colors because I love those colors. And it looks great. This was designed for me by my friend Elizabeth over at Frizzy Lizzy Stitches, but she does do this, but she also has this pattern available for everyone to make their own name tag. I will link to it down below. I believe it's free. And yeah, I finally made it. I was supposed to stitch this before Stitch North and it just never happened. So my plan this weekend is to fully finish this, so that I can pop it into my name tag holder that Bridget gave me and made me. And yeah, I don't know, really not much to say about it. I just love it. So that is, I think my plan this weekend is to FFO a bunch of stuff. So hopefully next time I see you, I'll have lots to show, but also don't hold me to it because that's like not my favorite thing to do. All right, next finish. This is, I took a look at my little whip pile and I said, you know what? I love this whip. It's not really a planned start for, or planned finish for the year. And honestly, I really just want a certain aspect of this pattern. I don't really need all the rest. So this is Pumpkin King by Mama Witch X Stitch. And the only reason that I really wanted this pattern was because the Pumpkin King looks like Enoch from Over the Garden Wall. And that is kind of, I had already pretty much stitched him, so I went ahead and just finished him. This is my finish. I basically just didn't do any of the stuff around him, but I did finish out the pumpkins, and then I decided to stitch these little flowers under his arms because I think that makes it look more complete. And I want to finish him as like a little stand-up, like a stuffed stand-up, so that, and it'll kind of like be shaped like around him so I can like display him on a shelf. And I'm really happy with my decision here. So this is stitched on 32 count natural linen, 2 strands of DMC over 2 called for floss, and I really love this. Everything around him was just like little ephemera, like little motifs, and as beautiful as the piece is, this is really all I wanted. So I'm happy it's done, and I have like the finishing idea makes more sense to just have him like this. I haven't decided if I'm gonna frog out, because this is like where I started the pattern, I think. I haven't decided if I'm gonna frog that out or not, but anyways, it's a finish. Okay, and that's all I care about. So that was productive. And then my last finish, this was I don't have this ironed, but it was supposed to be a finish it was actually supposed to be a finish at Stitch North. that didn't happen. So then I was like, okay, I'll finish it at StitchCon. Well, then that didn't happen because I couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait. I got it to a point where it just had to fill in, and I was like, I want this off my whip list. Like, I want it finished, but I'm also in this, let's talk about whip debt. I go back and forth, right? Like, I love having a ton of whips because I like being chaotic, low-key. Like, I think it's, I don't know, like, I feel like I get so jazzed about these things and starting things and having these things and coming up with a conversion for this and, oh my God, I'm gonna stitch this, but I'm gonna stitch on this fabric, which is completely different than the called for. And like, I get really like excited and motivated about concepts, right? And I stand by that. However, I also am at a point where I'm not able to like focus in and get a lot of progress on bigger whips. And I like my big whips, but there's something distracting about a smaller whip or a medium-sized whip where I'm like, yeah, but if I put 1,000 stitches into my big ass project, that's gonna be like nowhere near finished. But if I put 1,000 stitches into a project that only has 5,000 stitches left, that's almost done at that point. So there's something a little distracting. So basically I have also, with like job change and stuff, I've kind of restructured my goals, my feelings, my thoughts, whatever. And I think that right now I'm motivated to basically go from the most finishable, like the closest to a finish whip, and just go down the line and knock off as many whips as possible by the end of the year. Now, you might argue, well, Cameron, next year then you're not going to have anything close to a finish. You're going to have just like medium-sized to bigger projects left. And that was a worry that held me back from doing this earlier. But I started the year with like, I think 60 something whips, and I have at a point been at like 70 whips for sure. And I think that I'm in whip debt and I need to kind of climb out of that a little bit. And I say that I don't think there's morally anything wrong with debt, right? Like, I think that talking about debt is like, to me, is more, I have to kind of neutralize that in my brain because there's nothing morally wrong with being in debt, right? Money is a concept. Let's like, we don't need to get all into it, but like, if I'm applying that same logic or feelings to my whips, I don't want to whip shame myself or any of you watching, right? But I'm at a place where I'm like, I need the room and the space in my mind to be able to get to these bigger whips. And I think my friend Tara said this at the beginning of the year, but like, I just want new whips. Like, I want these whips to be finished so that I can start new ones and also get progress on these bigger ones that have been sitting there. So that was a tangent, but all of that to say, I went ahead and finished Pigeon and Puddle. So, 'tis done. I did my own color conversion on this. There is one called for color, or no, there's a couple of, there's like 5 called for colors in here. But, anyways, it's kind of too complicated, but essentially this purple is called for, yellow, white, orange, and green is all called for. The brown, the gray for the head, that's called for. The only things that are not is the body, the water, and his neck color, which I put in my Instagram post. The neck color is a variegated DMC. The body is a color and cotton, and so is the water. I stitched this on 40 count Lunar by Stitch Me. It's this really nice, really pale gray. And so it's definitely like a cloudy day, but I think it makes, like, having the the yellow flowers, and like, I don't know, it kind of, I don't know, makes him pop, makes everything pop on this, which I really like. I would like to finish this in an oval frame because he's perfect for an oval frame. I just need to find that oval frame, basically. I couldn't wait till StitchCon, but that's okay. I'm gonna bring it anyways and take a picture with my friends that have finished this, and it'll be a delightful little photo. And honestly, I'm just happy that my whip count is going down, and I never talk about, let me preface this. I never talk about UFOs on my channel because I mentally feel a little bit of like a shame when it comes to, I get really excited about a project, I start it, like everything I just said, right? And then I start it, and then a couple months, couple years, whenever, I go, I don't really want to stitch on that ever again, I think. And I UFO it, right? And so there's a thing where it's just like, in my whip parades, you'll see a project and you might just never see it again. And I don't come on here and go, I'm UFOing this. I never show any of you. And I don't know that I'll ever stop that because I think mentally for me, that's just, I don't know. I just like don't want to talk about my UFOs. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong. Here's the thing. I watch people talk about what they're UFOing and I'm fascinated. I'm like, tell me more. But for me, I'm like, no, none of you can know. I don't want to talk about it. But I'm about to talk about one. And the reason I'm talking about it is because, well, you'll see. So this is my pink on pink project. This is Beatrix Potter Quaker Sampler, and I picked out this really amazing pink on pink tonal combo. This is Fiber on a Whim Peony, mine's on a 40 count, and then I picked the Dinky Dyes Pink Tourmaline Silk is the floss. I have since seen people finish or start pieces with the exact same combo and share it on Instagram on their Flosstubes, and I think it is gorgeous and beautiful. My friend Bridget finished a Modern Folk embroidery piece with this combo. My friend Maddie has finished 2 pieces with this combo, I believe. I think there's a JBW Designs alphabet she did with this, and then the Liz Matthews Quaker Gardens. And so, but my pink on pink has been sitting there. And I'll tell you why. One, because I started too many Quakers at one point, and I have since discovered that once I stitch a Quaker motif, like I don't really want to stitch it again. And I looked at Beatrix Potter, and a lot of the Quaker motifs on it are ones I have already stitched on either Sarah Moon, which is a Stitchy Box reproduction sampler, or White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick that I finished this year. So, all of that to say, I think Quakers are beautiful. Do I think I will ever start another big Quaker ever again? No, I don't think I will. So, I am UFOing this. However, don't worry, I can't abandon the pink on pink. I also discovered when I was looking at this that I started it on the wrong side of the linen, if there is a right side, which I believe there is. So that's where I started it, flipped over. This is the right side of the linen. So what I'm gonna do is I picked a different project, and I will put like a screenshot of it up here of my color combo of the pink on pink mock-up. This is a Patreon chart by Hello from Liz Matthews, and it is called Busy Hands, a Happy Heart. So I have been obsessed with this since she released it, but I kept thinking of like, what color combo should I do for this? And I kept like bouncing around ideas. And when I finally decided I'm never gonna stitch on this again, I was like, wait a second. So I'm gonna restart my pink on pink project, but it'll be a new project. I don't think I'm going to restart it right now or anytime soon. I think I'd like to wait until February, start my new pink on pink project. So I will keep all of this together and it'll be ready for me in February or anytime I feel like starting that project. But all of that to say, between some of the UFOs that I've done this year, this kind of UFO, but I will restart it vibe, and some of the finishes I've gotten recently, I am at 55 whips, and that is amazing for me. And so I'm obviously StitchCon, I'm gonna start whatever the hell I want. Like, that's what I did at StitchCon, or Stitch North, and it was fantastic. I was much more like, my energy was all over the place at Stitch North, but yeah, so I'm going to start whatever I want. I'm not going to hold myself back, but when I get back from StitchCon, it's going to be a continuation of focusing in on these finishes. I have so many projects that are smaller, medium-sized, that have a good amount of progress, or just really not a lot of stitches left, and I'm going to get them off my whip list so that I don't have any smaller whips left to work on, and I can put that energy into big, large projects that I want done. Okay, so all of that to say, let's move on to whips. The first whip I have for you, this has had a really sad start the last time I showed it to you. This is the 9th Day of Christmas by Hello from Liz Matthews. I am stitching all of the trees. My friend Bridget is stitching all the samplers on one piece, and we fell behind, but we are catching up. Bridget is like, she's caught almost up. So I had to get back on my game, and I stitched on the 9th Day of Christmas. I'm stitching all of these on different fabric. This is 36 count Heritage by Picture This Plus, which I did stitch the first day of Christmas on this fabric as well. And it looks great. I'm stitching with one strand of the called for floss over 2, and I'm just in color change city right now. I think my strategy for this is to finish the top with all of the ladies, because it's a lot of color changing, do the back stitching of some of the like music symbols here, and then I'll go down and do the house, which will be lots of fill-in. So that is where that's sitting at. Not too bad, needs some more work, but we'll get there. I'm gonna try to finish this by the end of June because I am a little behind our new updated schedule. So I want to finish this by the end of June, and then in July I will start the 10th Day of Christmas, which I'm really excited to because it's the big Santa and it's gonna be on blue fabric. So, all right, my next whip. This is one of my oldest whips. It's from 2022. It is Black Cats and Spooky Bats by Park Hopper Bart, and this is gonna be my next finish for sure. I am under 2,000 stitches left on this. It's stitched on Roxy Floss Co. Peanut Brittle Linen. This is they no longer dye this. This was one of their very first colors, I believe. And it's stitched with Roxy Floss Co. floss as well in 4 colors. So the last time I picked this up, I worked a lot on this band. I'm almost finished with it. And then I added the word bat. I'm missing one S, and then I'll move down to the next row, basically. So I'm hoping to finish this weekend or early next week before StitchCon. And then I'll be down to 54 whips. And then I'll climb back up with all my starts, but I love it. It looks so good. This fabric is so gorgeous. I'm definitely going to put more things on this fabric. But yeah, I love it. It's 40 count as well. I don't think I mentioned that. Using one strand. And yeah, it'll be another 2022 whip off my... I'm hoping by the end of the year, most of my 2022 whips will be finished. My next whip, this is in, it's in a hoop because I'm currently working on it and I really don't want to take it out. This is Extraordinary Birds. I am trying to catch up. I don't have the frame done. as I think I said in my last video, but I am stitching the parts as they come out. I went ahead and counted down with this pillar, as you can see, and so I was able to do all the parts so far. This is the most recent one, and I'm working in these leaves right now. This is stitched on 32 count jalapeno linen by Fiber on a Whim with 2 strands of called for floss. You can see that I finished the blue-footed booby. I'm not going to unroll this. I will show it fully in my next one. Honestly, it's really not much to see because I'm behind and I can't do all the back stitching as I go because I didn't finish the frame. And so there's like back stitching that should be overlapping on the stitches that are part of the frame, if that makes sense. And so, but I want to keep up with the parts because at the very least, that will make me feel better so that at the end, I'll be able to finish the frame out and then backstitch everything. I was able to backstitch, I think I backstitched like his eye. Like I'm able to backstitch some places, but just not fully. So yep, that's where that is. It will hopefully be caught up. It won't be caught up because today the next part comes out. My next whip, this is actually a new start that I kind of forgot about. I have been obsessed with everyone stitching these animal crackers by Stacy Nash, and I wanted to hop on the train, but I had seen someone on Instagram, and of course I'll never remember the handle. I think maybe someone sent it to me, but someone had stitched the animal crackers like over one, I don't know on what count, but they were like itty bitty tiny. And so I was inspired and started Maggie May on 28 count linen, 2/1 tent stitch. So I'm doing half stitches with 2 strands because that's like, first of all, it takes half the time, but also I do like the texture of it, so I think it looks so good. I also changed all the colors on her because she doesn't come with a DMC conversion. She's called for in Weeks Dye Works, so I went ahead and just picked out my own DMC that I wanted to do that's really nowhere close to what she looks like, but I love her. I'm stitching this on 28 count latte by Fiber on a Whim. And yeah, if you're interested in my conversion, which of course would be easier to see when I stitch more of her, I can definitely provide that on Instagram. But yeah, I just really wanted to start an animal cracker, so I picked this one to be my first one. I want to finish her as like a little bag charm, or just a mini little accessory to go somewhere because she's just adorable. So that is a new start. The next whip I have, this is going to be my next focus project to a finish after Black Cats and Spooky Bats. This is Bearing Gifts by Kathy Barrick. I started this last year in June for the Strawberry Moon SAL that my friend Marjorie hosts. And I love seeing all the strawberry projects that people are planning to start or are pulling out this June. I just picked out a bunch of color and cottons to stitch this with, so it's not called for. I think there's 1 classic color or 2 classic color works in there. Yeah, so those are the colors. Very bold strawberry colors. And I'm stitching this on 20 count Ada by Stitch Me in the color Mocha. It's a very pinky, truffly brown, tan, whatever. Gosh, it's folded right in the right way. But anyways, I did a little bit more work on her and got the roof of the house done, started the windows, the door. I didn't really get a whole lot done, but this will be my next focus for a finish. I am going to bring this to StitchCon to work on because I think a lot of us are going to be working on strawberry projects, and 20 count Ada with 1 strand and hand stitching is like the easiest ever for me, so I don't need like good lighting or like a perfect setup for this, so I'm definitely going to bring that. My next whip, I didn't get a whole lot done on this, but I just felt like working on it. This is Alra Leopard by Lindy Stitches, and I'm using all the called for pretty much on the called for linen, which is 32 count Silver Moon by Zweigart, and that is where I'm at. So probably not going to look totally that much different from when the last time I showed it, but I did do a lot more of this tree, which I'm going like back and forth in horizontal lines. I also was outlining this paw, and started doing filling in some of his ear and his face there. So this tree thing, rock, whatever, yeah, I think it's like a tree. This is obviously forever long, and it's going to be so much stitching. So I wanted to kind of eat away at that a little bit, and then the next time I pull this out, I'm going to do more of that and probably take breaks and work on the fill-in on the body as well, kind of outline the body so that it'll be ready for fill-in, basically. My next whip, this is Four Seasons by Barbara Anna. I should have had the Spring Girl done by the end of May, but that didn't happen. It's okay. This is where I'm at. I am gonna bring this to StitchCon because I have it in a place where I can do fill-in on the skirt. This is stitched on 20 count Brown Sugar Ada by Fiber on a Whim. And I'm stitching with the called for DMC, except that I did a conversion for all of their skin. So I just have the rest of the Spring Girl to finish. And then this month I'm supposed to start the Summer Girl. Hopefully I can finish the Spring Girl soon and go ahead and start the Summer Girl, and then I'll be done. I'm hoping to have this done by August, is kind of by the end of August is my plan. And I want to turn this into a drum, I think was my original idea, although now I'm low-key thinking about just framing it. So we'll see. I do love them. My next whip, this is Mary Morgan's by Fox and Rabbit. I wanted this to be a StitchCon finish, but I think I was delusional. I would literally have to quit my job and like not sleep a lot to get this done by that time. So I've decided to take a break from it. However, I did get a good amount done before I put it away. So this is where it's at. It's stitched on 40 count Platinum Linen by Zweigart. And you can see where I worked the majority last time is on this page. I'm almost done with this page. I'm so close. And then I will just have the bottom section. So it feels good. Obviously, I think I was stuck in this middle section for like over a year because it is just so much full coverage, and it's gorgeous and it was worth it, but wowie. I think this is my last whip. This is my Carolyn Manning 10,000 Lakes Manning May. We didn't really do Manning May this year, but I did pull this out to get it to 10% because it was like right close to it. And this is where I ended up. I did a conversion for this to colors that my dad likes, and this will be a gift for him one day when I finish it. Thing about a Carolyn Manning though is I just don't know if I'm ever gonna finish this. I will finish it. It's just a lot of block stitching. I'm stitching this on 20 count Ada. I think it's Cappuccino by Fiber on a Whim. And I'm stitching with one strand of DMC. Couple more things to show you. One, this is a plan for when I come back. So I was supposed to have finished Secret Garden by Hello from Liz Matthews already by now to keep up with my friend Bridget. We have these goal stitches that we do together, and we picked 2 this year, so that was the first one. The second one is Autumn Cloche by Hello from Liz Matthews. This is what the pattern looks like. So we're starting this goal this month. Bridget is already on it, but I want to wait till after StitchCon. But I wanted to show you where I'm at, and hopefully next time I see you, this will have good progress on it. But that's where I'm starting for the year, and this will be finished by the end of December, allegedly. So I'm starting at a good place, almost where she was. She had already had this pumpkin filled out, which I'm not quite there, but when I pull this out later this month, I'm going to tackle this pumpkin, and then I'm going to tackle the bottom of the cloche, the outlining at least. That should get me a good amount. So my goal for this would be 2,100 stitches. I'm going to try to double that. I'm going to try to hit like 4K stitches on this month. Do I think that's possible? Kind of not. But if I aim for it and I only hit 3K, like that'd be still way more than I needed. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for. I want to catch up a bit. So yeah, that's where I'm at. This is stitched on 36 count Affogato by Fiber on a Whim. Other things I have kind of plans. So for StitchCon, I have several planned starts. One is Hello from Liz Matthews, Patreon for this month. It is called Strawberry Moon, and I really want to do the smaller version on some blue fabric that I have in stash. So I'm going to pull the DMC for that today and get everything finally packed. Everything else is packed for new starts except for that. So that's one thing that's on my list to do. The other start is Lindy Stitches Strawberry Naps. I want to stitch that so bad, and I don't have any good pink fabric in stash, but I do have this 32 count Pure Dough, whatever, however you say that word, by Fiber on a Whim, and I think it can just fit on like a half of this probably. So this is kind of a different vibe, but I'm thinking this. And then I went into my Moe's Sale silk stash that I haven't really been using, and I picked out some floss. I have this really great strawberry color. It's called Red Hot by Dying for Sass. And then I got a DMC for the yellow, a white, and then the color of the cat. My cat is gray. Vindaloo is very gray. This is her perfect matched DMC color. It is 844. She is 844 through and through. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this for her body for the cat. I would love to find an overdyed that matches this, but I don't have anything in stash, and I don't really necessarily want to buy anything. So I'm just gonna use DMC, and she's gonna look great, and it's gonna look just like Vindaloo. And then the other project that I'm gonna start as well for Strawberry Moon, so many. This is Berry Patch by Hello from Liz Matthews. I have had this kitted since 2022 with a random piece of linen that I got at an L&S somewhere in South Carolina. So this is the fabric, and then I have all the DMC pulled and ready to go pretty much. That's most of the DMC. So I'm ready. This has been sitting in my stash, and my friend Elizabeth from Frizzy Lizzy Stitches wants to start this. So why not start it with her? Even though I'm starting 5 other things, I don't care. It'll be fine. And it's so cute. And I really don't have anything, I was just about to say, I don't really have anything like with bunnies on it. And I did just show you a full like bunny in an outfit. And then the other project I'm going to bring to possibly start, this is not for Strawberry Moon, but this is Annaf Funk by Erica Michaels. I've just been obsessed with it ever since someone left a comment about it. And I think my trends video. And I'm gonna start it on 36 count Caramel Linen by Seraphim. It's a nice, like, really good, solid, lightly modeled fabric. And then I did my own color conversion of just like a bunch of overdyes I had. Most of them are color and cotton. There's some classic color works in here. There's a Brennan needle. There's a bunch. So this is the vibe. It's very bright and fun, obviously. The one, I did try to stick to the vibe of the colors. The only thing that I really switched out is there's this like grape purple, and instead of that, I went for this really hot pink because that's more my vibe anyways. But yeah, I'm excited to start this. It's got nice yucky yellow greens. It's got all the pinks. It's got like a really, like, this blue, I would have never, I feel like I would had a hard time putting this in anything else, but it made total sense for this piece. Got some browns, this really beautiful lilac color. I'm into it, so I will be starting that most likely at StitchCon. And then honestly, is that it? Like, I feel like other packing things for StitchCon is mostly, I have a bunch of stuff I want to put on the freebie table. I need to kind of declutter a little bit. So I have a pile going. I have random things here and there that I've been meaning to like mail to my friends that I'm bringing. And yeah, I think whips, really, I'm only going to bring like a couple, like 2 or 3, because I have a bunch of starts that I want to work on anyways. And I know I'll be distracted and talking most of the time. So I think I'm going to pack less whips. I do think that one of the whips I'm going to bring is Cherry Magpie, because I started that at Stitch North and I haven't gotten to really sink my teeth in it yet as much as some other people have. And I'm getting FOMO and I want to work on it really bad. So I'm going to bring that. I do have a feeling that that and Bearing Gifts by Kathy Barrick are the whips I'll work on the most there. And then start whatever I want, pivot, not start things, whatever. I'm gonna play it cool. I'm gonna play it chill. And I'm probably not gonna be chill, but like, it'll be fine. Okay. Last thing. So I have another design that I designed at this point a couple months ago. And I started the model also immediately a couple months ago. And obviously, like, my job got more stressful. I've taken on a bigger role at my job and whatever. I am doing better. I am still stressed for sure, but I'm doing better at compartmentalizing and taking each day by day and trying to like let it just kind of wash off at me at the end of the day, because like, you know, I don't live to work, that's for sure. I do work to live, and I do work to craft. And so I'm trying to kind of like figure out more of a balance, possibly, hopefully making some like, I've been in this apartment for so long too, like I'm hoping that like some changes are going to be made soon. I'm kind of gonna figure out a better routine for myself, basically, is what I'm saying. Okay. All of that to say, I have let this model languish, and I really had wanted to already have it done and released, but I like want to keep it a complete secret because I love surprises. And that's how I did my first design release, my only design release so far. And that feels very authentic to myself. Like, that's what I like to do. But I also want to show you guys so bad. And I love when designers show sneak peeks as well, because it gets me like super hype about when the pattern comes out. So right now I'm kind of stalling and trying to decide if I want to show you anything. But I think I do. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. It's definitely like a summer-ish vibe into fall vibe. So I'm hoping to get this released by August. I think it's a really good August vibe. I'd love to get it out sooner, but like, we'll see. I'll show you the fabric that I'm stitching it on. And this is very much inspired by Jet X Stitch of this color choice. This is Muted Sedona by Fiber on a Whim. I am obsessed with it. I originally wanted to start Kathy Barrick's From Velvet to Linen on this. If anybody hasn't started that yet, and I've already started it on a different linen that is similar, but not this. If anybody hasn't started that yet, and you're feeling inspired by this choice, please. I need someone to stitch that on this fabric. It's so gorgeous and beautiful and orange and bronzy and warm and dark. So I designed the pattern, and I was actually between this and I think Hibiscus by Fiber on a Whim, and I'd chosen Hibiscus and I started stitching it on there because there are a lot of white stitches that are standalone stitches on this design, which I'm sure is not that enticing, but it makes sense for the piece. And the white stitches just did not stand out on the Hibiscus. And I was like, okay, mind you, I'm stitching 1 strand over 2 on 36 count, which is my choice fully. I could totally see it looking really good with 2 strands on 36 on a lighter fabric than this, but that's very much up to the stitcher, right? I don't like stitching with 2 strands on 36, so I'm not going to. But so that is I think that's all I want to show you. I want to be like just so like I just like don't want to show you, but I do want to show you. Do you like understand? Okay, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm so evil, I feel like. I'm really, really excited about this pattern. It's very summer. It is very I think it's the vibe of it to me is suffocating summer in the South, sticky, dust, like a layer of dust covering everything, but comforting at the same time in a way that I don't know how to describe. So that means probably nothing to you, and I probably sound like a mad woman, but it is what it is. I'm really excited to release it. These are some of the colors. It's very, I will say, let me show you the boring colors first, right? We've got this white, which is 3866, 642. Look at how just absolutely like dingy this palette is so far. Okay, we have a swampy green, of course. We have my favorite, which is 3021. I'm thinking though that when I release this, I'm hoping some people might want to swap out 3021 for 310 to give it a more like graphic look. This is DMC 7, another dingy color, and then we've got a brighter color. We've got 733. Okay, look at that so far. And then we're throwing in some weird colors here. We've got a mint. How are we feeling about that? We've got a darker mint, seafoam color, okay? And then we have dusty rose pink. Are you seeing my vision? No, because you don't know what my vision is, but and then plummy, mauvey, not plummy, definitely mauvey. This color palette might not look enticing to you, but it makes sense. That's it. That's all I'm gonna show you. And yeah, I'm really like showing like the sneak peek does make me just want to like I really want to work on it. I want to finish it. I am hoping to finish it after StitchCon, get the PDF ready, and like take pictures and everything in July. I'm hoping to release it by the end of July, basically, is the hope. But yeah, so if you stuck around and you're watching, thank you so much. I think this is a shorter video, hopefully, for today. If you made it this far in the video, leave a strawberry emoji, please. Tell me what strawberry moon projects you're gonna be pulling out for June, or starting, or finishing, or whatever. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see my friends at StitchCon. I'm so excited to have a vacation and not be working. And yeah, thanks for sticking around. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your comments. And I'll see you next time. Bye, baby.